Hello and welcome to my video. For today's tutorial I did get a request if I can create something like this, which is a sticker for the hand sanitizer for the baby shower, and I thought that that's a great idea because this design is very simple, yet it has all the basic elements. It has the pattern on the background, there is this text like normal text on down below, there's also a text which is around the circle, and there is this little illustration in the middle, so that's great for knowing the tool or learning the tool, as well as getting started with the Silhouette Studio. And so for today's tutorial we'll be using Silhouette Studio Basic Edition, which is the free version of the Silhouette Studio, and as you will see it will be more than capable to do something like this, to create those stickers which you can then print and cut on your own using your Silhouette machine. Okay, so let's try to examine the design for a minute, and then we will jump to a new document. So we will start with this background shape first. Let me jump into the new document, which is empty, there is nothing in here, and what I usually like to do is set the page background color. Now you cannot do this easily, but you can use a simple trick. When I jump to the page setup panel, you can set the grid to be visible, so I will select show grid, and then you can lower the spacing to a point where those lines are so close to each other, there's actually no spacing or very little spacing between them, it looks like a background color. And I will probably keep this pink one, the light pink one, but you can change it to any color if you want using this color selection dialog. Okay, so for the actual sticker size, you will probably have some your own bottle, so you'll know the dimensions. So you can start with maybe a rectangle and draw it like so, and in the transformation dialog, which is here, for the size you can enter the dimensions in whatever units you have set. I do have set it to millimeters, but you will most likely have it set to inches, so you'll maybe measure it to maybe 70 to 90 millimeters. I don't have anything in here what I can measure, so I will just take random values, but for you of course feel free to use your own measurements just to make sure that the sticker will fit on the bottle. Now we have few different options what to use for the shape of the main sticker, and the rectangle is kind of boring. What we can do is we can draw a rounded rectangle like so. So I'll select the rounded rectangle and draw it with my mouse. Now let me zoom in a little bit more, and I can use those red handles to make those rounded corners a little bit bigger or smaller. Or what I've used in my stickers was the rounded rectangle, which has a different roundness on the top versus the bottom. So let me show you how to do this. I will use this shape. Let me get rid of the rectangle. I will use this shape. I will actually change the outline to no outline and fill maybe to, I don't know, maybe the pink one. Seems to be fine, for now at least. And I will duplicate this shape, pressing the duplicate button on here, which gives me another shape. And for this one, I will make sure that the roundness is as big as it could be, while keeping the left and top distance the same, so it's kind of like the pill shape. Then we'll select both shapes and select this alignment tool and align it to the center, so align center. And voila, we have this shape which we are looking for. Maybe it's too tall, so I'll make this a little bit smaller. I have to adjust the roundness because it's scaling as well. And I will move this a little bit to top, and I'm using the arrow key on my keyboard together with the shift key, just so the moving is a little bit faster with bigger increments. And something like this is perfectly fine. Now this is still two different shapes. If I would change this to no fill and show you the outline, you will see that those are two different shapes. So in order to work with those easily, I will select both of those shapes and I will weld those together using this weld selected shapes into one shape tool. Now it's usually a good idea if you are welding something to just make sure that you create a copy. So what I will do is I will select both shapes, I will create a copy and maybe move it somewhere over the page, just so I can use it anytime I want in the future, because once I weld this into one shape, I wouldn't be able to adjust this roundness of the corners. Then I will select those two shapes again and finally click this weld button. And you can see that this is just one shape right now. It has the outline, so I will change the outline to no outline and set the fill to white color. And that's a great thing because we have the background color for the page being set, so I can see the white background color in here. If I jump to my previous creation, you can see that we actually don't have the white, we have the blue or pink, and there is this dotted polka dot pattern overlay over this. So let me actually change this to pink color instead, and I will use this predefined pink color, not for the outline but of course for the fill. And now I want to add the polka dot pattern. Now by default we don't have much patterns, so we'll use a simple trick, and I've already recorded a different tutorial about creating a polka dot pattern with a custom color, but this will be even easier because we don't need custom color, we just need white polka dot pattern. So what I will do is I will duplicate this shape. So I'll duplicate this using the duplicate button, and for this I will just move it to the right side just so we can see what's happening in here. I will open the fill properties and set the fill to be a pattern, so I will change this to fill pattern, and then I will find the polka dot pattern which is transparent, which is actually this one. It has a lot of different colors, but we don't care about the colors right now. What we care about is we want to make those just a little bit smaller, so I will change the scale to maybe like 55 or 60%. And then we want to get rid of the color. So for this one I will open the image effects panel, and in the brightness, contrast and saturation I will decrease the brightness to make it black first. I hit apply, and then there is this invert button, and I will set the inversion to 100% to make it white, and again hit apply. You can see that there is black outline, but that could be easily removed by jumping to the outline and setting the outline to be no outline. Okay, now we can finally move this to the same place, so let me just use those alignment buttons to make sure that everything is aligned, and I can even change the fill properties to make the pattern just a little bit smaller. So let me maybe change the scaling to maybe like 50, like so. Now if you don't like the placement of the fill pattern, we can always click the pen pattern button in here, and there is this handle which you can grab and move this pattern around to make sure that it kind of looks maybe center lined, I don't know, like this. It looks nice. Okay, so this is the background shape for our sticker, and now we can finally move to the inner part, which is, you know, just a circle with the text and the icon. So what I will do is I will create a new circle, so select the ellipse tool and draw it with the shift key being pressed on your keyboard, like so. Then I will move it using my arrow keys, set the outline to no outline and the fill to white color. And we want the text and the icon, so let's just start with the text, and we'll actually start with the text on the bottom which says thank you and the date, because that's very easy to create. For this one we just need to select the text tool or type tool and click anywhere and type in the date, of course, and it's not 11th, it's already 12th, but in this, you know, this date looks very nice, so I will just use this one instead, and I will type in thank you, of course, and the date itself. I will select everything, Ctrl A. I'm not quite sure if that's necessary, but I will change the font to Blogger Sans, make it bold and center aligned, and of course the outline should be no outline, and the fill will be maybe a darker version of the pink color, like this. So then I will make it much smaller, maybe 20 points only, and move it to the center. Maybe it will be even smaller, like 15 points or so. Okay, that looks nice. Now we need the text on the top, and for this one I'm using the same font and the same color. So let me just click the text tool and type in Julia's baby shower. Again, same font, which is the Blogger Sans, and you can use any font you want in the bold, no outline, and the darker pink color. And I will use maybe, I don't know, like 25 point size. Now we want to make this around the circle, so we need the circle to have the first circle. So I can use this one. I can just duplicate it using the duplicate button and move it to the side. And I will probably change the outline to be visible, so maybe make it black for now so we can see what's happening, and no fill. So this will be our circle to put the text over. Then I will double click the font, the text itself, to put it into edit mode. But except for edit mode, we also have this this handle on the left side which we can grab with your mouse and move it over any shape, like over this circle, and at some point it will stick to the circle, like so. If you move it into inside, you can get it into inside, but we want it to have it on the outside, so like so. And sometimes it takes some experimentation to make it right. Now in addition to this handle, you also have this slider where you control where it should be placed over the circle. And as you can see, what it does, it changes the spacing between layers. So if I move it down below, the spacing is very tight. If I move it on top, the spacing is very big. I'll probably keep it in the middle, like so, because the spacing seems about right. But what I will do instead is I will select the circle, because right now it wouldn't fit into circle. So I have to select the circle and scale it down a little bit, like so, until it will actually fit. I can probably make it a little bit bigger, like so. And I kind of like it this way. Now with the circle selected, I can change the outline to be no outline. So the circle is no longer visible, but the text is still here. So we have the text, we have the background. All that's missing is the illustration in the middle. And I usually like to create the illustrations on my own, but this time, for the sake of saving time, let's try to use something which is already done. So I will head to the flaticon.com website and I will search for the baby feet. And hopefully I will find something which I like. Close this one. And we are looking for maybe something like this. This looks fine. Let me close this one. Or maybe I think I've used a little bit different icon for my case. It was probably this one. And you can see that those icons comes in different colors. So for easy tracing, I will use the black one and I will download this as a PNG file. Now you have to know that if you are not registered, you will have to contribute or create the author, which in this case I believe is the flat icon itself. If you have the premium membership, you don't need to create anyone. So let me just download this for free and I will put it into the Silhouette Studio. So in the Silhouette Studio, I will select File, Merge, and I will select the image and put it into our document, like so. Okay, so in order to change color of this PNG image, it's best to convert this to the vector first, so we'll trace it first. So I'll open the trace panel, which is here, and I will select the trace area and draw the area around the image itself, like so. And you can see that there is a little bit of, some shape inside which we probably don't want, and we can get rid of this in two different ways. We can select trace outer edges only, which will not trace the inner part. If I move it to the side, you can see that those feet are now without the inner part. So let me just change this to the right color. Or we can do this same thing one more time. I will select trace area and trace it one more time. This time I will hit trace, so it will trace all the different shapes. But once the shapes are traced, I can select or double click it or select the edit point tool and click on the inner shape and press, or let me zoom it a little bit more so you can see it. I will select one of those points in the middle, in the center, and just hit delete multiple times until I will delete all the points which belongs to this shape, and I'll do the same thing for this one. So let me just keep hitting delete key on my keyboard until it's gone. Then I can select the normal arrow key for selecting and I get the same result. So those are two different ways how to trace an image and remove any unnecessary areas if you don't need them. So let me delete actually those two and move the top one to the center, maybe make it a little bit smaller, like so. So it fits nicely. And I'm pretty happy with the result, and I think that we are almost done. I say almost because there are two important things which need to be set. The first thing is you need to make sure that it will print properly, and in order to print properly and then cut properly, we have to set the registration marks. So I will jump to the page setup panel and I will open the registration marks tab and set the style to be type 1, and I usually like to make this inset and length a little bit smaller just so I can fit more stickers on my sheet. Actually, before I do anything, I have to make sure that the page size is set to the right size, so it will most likely be letter or A4. And of course, yeah, the page registration mark. The thing about the grid settings and the page background color is that this color will never be printed, so you don't have to care about the page background color, it will always be white. It's just for our convenience to see the different page background color in the editor. So that's one thing. We need to have the registration marks. The second thing is we need to make some cut paths to make sure that the sticker will cut properly. Now, first thing which comes to mind is if you jump to the send pane, everything will be set to be cut. That's fine. We can just select everything and set it to no cut. So usually what you would think is you can select one of those background shapes and set it to cut. But sometimes the cut is offset by a fraction of inch, so it may not came up nicely, because if the cut line is a little bit off, we will actually see the page background color. So it's always a good idea to make sure that if you have a color sticker, to make sure that the cut path is just a tiny bit smaller than the sticker itself. So I will select this one and set it to no cut as well, jump back to the design, and make sure that we have another cut line which is just a little bit smaller than the sticker itself. So I will select one of those background shapes. It doesn't really matter which one is it, so I will select maybe this one and just duplicate it one more time. So hit the duplicate button and move it to the side. I will change the outline to be maybe black and no fill, and I want to offset it a little bit to the center. So I'll open the offset panel and set the internal offset to maybe 2 millimeters or just a fraction of the inch. I will hit apply and get rid of the bigger one. Then I will move it to the right spot, and for easy, setting the cut path easily, I will change the outline color to some color which is not being used in our design. So maybe this pink one or violet one. Okay, so now what we can do is we can jump to the send panel and only select the violet path and make it to be cut. So let me just send it to cut. Now there is a second way how to set this, and it's a little bit easier. If you have a lot of different lines and a lot of different shapes, it may be hard to select just this one line. So in this case you can change the action from simple to action by line, and what this will cause it will show you all the different line colors which are used in the design. And you can see we have the no color, we have the black color, and we have our violet color. We don't want to do anything with the white and black, so we will just uncheck this checkbox, but we do actually want this to be cut on the violet color. So we will select this one, make sure that the checkbox is set. The tool should be tool number 1, which is the first tool, which will most likely be the auto blade, and I will just change the settings to some sticker material, so it will be sticker paper, I guess, maybe the white one. And of course the settings is, sometimes has to be adjusted a little bit more based on your sticker paper. Sometimes the force should be lower or higher. The passage should be always 1, and the speed is not that much important because it's just a matter of how much time you will wait. Okay, so at this point, if you just need one sticker on your sheet, you will go to the file print and you will just print it on your printer, then put it on your mat and feed it back into your Silhouette machine like Silhouette Cameo. And in here you will just select send, and it will first read the registration marks and then it will cut the sticker properly. Now if you still have a little bit of time, let me show you how to print multiple of those and maybe change the color as well. So the first thing what I will do is I will move everything to the side, and you will see in a minute why I do this, and then I will move it back but create a copy. And I can do this in multiple different ways, but one thing I like to do is to press Alt key on my keyboard, and if I move it right now with the Alt key being pressed, it will actually create me a copy. I will put it in the group. I will select object group to be everything in one group, and you can see that something is wrong and we don't see the text anymore. And the problem with this one is because the text itself somehow doesn't act properly when it's being grouped. So I have to click this text and select object, convert to path. So we are no longer able to edit this text, but now when I select everything and select object group, I can actually group it without any problem. And so what I can do is I can zoom out so I can see the entire page. And in the transformation dialog, in the replicate panel, there is this fill page button which will try to fill the page with as many stickers or as many selected elements as it could. So if I click this, you will see that it decided that it could fit 4 different stickers on this one page. Now of course if you try hard enough, maybe you would be able to fit more stickers somehow. I don't know, maybe rotate it a little bit more, but usually it's a great start to use this fill page. Now for the second thing, let me show you how to easily change the color of the sticker. So I will move it outside of the page again, and that's important step, and then duplicate it one more time and put it on the page again. And when changing colors in the way I will show you, it's always a good idea to only have one sticker in the page. I will zoom in and ungroup everything, so ungroup this one, everything is being ungrouped, and now I can use the select by color dialog. So there is this select by color, and I will select by fill, and it will show me all the fill colors used in my design. So I have the white, the dark pink, light pink, no color, and the pattern. And there are 2 different important checkboxes on the bottom, and the one which we want to have checked is only shapes on media. So if I select If I click this one, it will select me all the shapes which are using this fill color, but only on the media, only on the paper, so it will not select anything outside, which is great. So I can select the dark one and the light one and change the colors properly. So let me select the light one, click the light one, that's only the background, and in the fill drop down menu I will maybe use this blue one, maybe this one, and for the dark one, the dark pink color, I will use a little bit darker blue / violet color, like so. Okay, so that's a very simple and easy way how to change colors without the hassle of selecting different elements. So now I can zoom in and I can finally move this stuff on the same place. I can probably group this together like so, and I can create multiple copies. I'm pretty sure you know what to do next. So I guess I will stop here and just tell you that if you like my tutorials, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the comment section below the video. And last thing, if you like stickers, please consider visiting my Etsy shop, which you can find on the cuteandglued.etsy.com. And I'm offering a lot of different cute stickers, not only as a physical stickers, but also as a digital download file in the form of the Silhouette Studio free project, so you can print those and cut those on your own. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.